Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we are talking The Ordinary and taking a look at their product collection after the recent round of price increases. In this video, I want to take a look at the value for money that their products offer, the formulations, the outcomes, and share with you my top 10 least favourite products from The Ordinary. Now, this is actually part of a two-part series. I've already filmed my top 10 favourites. I'm going to leave a link to that video up there. As with all brands, The Ordinary have their ding 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 holy grails and their wah 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 total fails, and it's those fails that I want to talk about in today's video, hopefully saving you guys some of your hard-earned money because there are just better options on the market. Sit back, relax, let's talk my least favourite products from The Ordinary. Now, before we get into this video, I would love to know, do you disagree with me on any of these products? Are any of these your personal favourites? Let me know in the comment section below. You know, skincare is very personal to us, our skin type and our budget, and what works for me might not work for you guys and vice versa, which is why I really do appreciate your feedback and your thoughts on all the products mentioned. Whatever your thoughts on these products, if you enjoy this style of content, don't forget to let me know by reaching down and giving this video a big thumbs up and a like. This is the very best way of supporting me as a content creator, because the more likes a video gets, the more widely YouTube will distribute it on its platform. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. Now, without further ado, let's cut that waffle and delve straight on in. When it comes to analysing any products from any brands, not just The Ordinary, I think you have to look at various different things. Price point. Is it affordable? Is it reaching? Are you offering value for money? If something comes with a higher price point, are you getting a little bit more for paying more? I think this is something that's become quite apparent when it comes to The Ordinary, that some of their products after this recent price increase just aren't that value for money that maybe we're used to. You then have to look at performance. Do the products actually work? I've tried all of these products. In fact, I think I've tried everything from The Ordinary over the past 5 years of using the brand, and so I can share with you my thoughts, feelings and opinions when it comes to what they'll deliver. And then finally, user experience. Application. Do they feel good to use? Are they easy to apply and to layer into your skincare routine? When The Ordinary was much cheaper a couple of years ago, some of their products that maybe weren't the most elegant, maybe they took a little bit of work to get into the skin, we forgive them for that because they were so affordable. Now they come with a higher price point. Should we just be demanding a little bit more as consumers in terms of the end finish to their products? I think we should, and all of that's going to factor into today's video. Now, in 10th place on the least favourites from The Ordinary is the 7% glycolic acid toning solution. Now, this I know a lot of people still use, but they're quite creative with how they use it. I'm talking about applying this to the face. People will use it on the scalp, which, if used cautiously, can deliver some really great benefits. On the body, where our skin is a little bit more resilient, again, I think this can work really well. I just think the way that this is marketed and pitched as being a daily exfoliating treatment, it's just the wrong sort of advice. I think we've all learned over the past 3 years, exfoliating every single day isn't going to give us the outcomes that we want. It increases redness, peeling, irritation, all things that actually damage the health of our skin. This, used a couple of times a week, absolutely fine, but I've just really transitioned to lactic acid and got better results. Using this every single day, like The Ordinary suggests you can in the title, just is the wrong approach, which is why it's firmly on this fails list. In at number 9 is this, the niacinamide powder. Now, the ascorbic acid powder from The Ordinary, which is the one that came out first, was really popular. So I think they thought, okay, there's a market for this. Let's do some more powder formulations. And they chucked out the niacinamide powder. I'm not the biggest fan of either of these powders. I think the ascorbic acid one, if used correctly, mixed into a moisturizer for the body, that's fine. I wouldn't necessarily use it on the face. And the niacinamide powder, I just don't get it. Same problems and issues as with the ascorbic acid powder. They give you a measuring scoop, which is the wrong amount versus their suggested dosage. So it's a little bit of a guessing game as to how much you're actually applying. It's quite gritty. Even if you mix it in really thoroughly with a moisturizer, you still get a grittiness. And with niacinamide being in practically everything in our skincare routine, I don't really see why we need a separate powder. It's faffy, and I think most people have cottoned onto this because you can now get this for 99p in Home Bargains, a discount store here in the UK. So if you do like this and it's one of your favourites, go to Home Bargains where you can pick it up for 99p. But for the normal retail price of £5.99, you just don't need it in your routine. In at number 8 are their retinols in squalane. This is the 1%. No, not a fan of this at all for a couple of reasons. First, it takes forever to actually sink into the skin. It's got a really greasy, oily application, which even if you work it into your moisturizer, which is what I would probably suggest to get this to work, it's still quite thick and heavy. It's got a bit of an unpleasant scent to it, which honestly I really didn't like and found it quite off-putting. And recent studies into the stability of retinol has shown that actually once you open this, it degrades pretty quickly. So you're not getting that 1% throughout the lifespan of using this product. It's probably going to degrade, so you're actually not getting the potency you think. When you've got other great options such as the ordinary gram-active retinoid emulsion, I don't think we need to reach for this greasy, smelly, potentially degrading meth. It's not where it's at. I think there are other better options, even within the ordinary collection, which is why this features on the fails list. Now, in positions 7 and 6 are going to be their two high-potency vitamin Cs. This is the vitamin C suspension, 23% in hyaluronic acid, and they do a 30% in silicon. Both of these way too strong for the average skin type. I've used these over time. You get the really intense prickling, almost like a burning sensation. It really just shows that your skin is reacting to it, and you don't need that. You can go for a lower strength vitamin C, like the 8% ascorbic acid with alpha-arbutin from the ordinary, get very similar outcomes with less irritation. You also can't layer any products on top of these. They sit like a film on the skin, so if you try to layer, you end up with everything balling, pilling, peeling up, and for the now increased price point, I just expect way more. This also oxidizes really quickly, as you can see from like the orangey bit that goes around this. It's really messy to use and dispense, and always ends up kind of like crusty like this, which I'm not all about. I think with some tweaks to the packaging, price point, the application and the finish, maybe it could come off this fails list, but still, I just think reaching for a lower concentration of ascorbic acid, using it consistently in the long term, is where you're going to see the very best results. Now, in a recent video, I did talk about vitamin C masking, which is where you do like a short contact with a higher potency vitamin C, then rinse it off before going on with the rest of your skincare. That's probably the one time where I'd use the one in silicone. I'll leave a link to that video up there if you do want to check it out. I think that's the one time where that one in silicone would actually be beneficial, but there's definitely a right and a wrong way of doing that, and it can be a little bit confusing. So for me, both of them I think are just a firm pass for the vast majority of people and deserve a place on this fails list. Now, in number 5 is one of their newest products, which is this, the ordinary multi-peptide eye serum. Now, the two other new launches, the glucoside cleanser and the natural moisturizing factors with phytoceramides, actually both appeared on that top 10 holy grails list. So, you know, 1 out of 3 being fails from your new launches isn't terrible really, but this, the price point, I think it's like £24 here in the UK for this tiny amount of product. It's not it. There's nothing really special in here. It's not a bad eye serum, but for the price point, I wanted more. This was also going to be badged as like an alternative to the discontinued Hyaluronic sub-Q eyes that everybody seemed to love. But this doesn't have half of the beneficial ingredients in. It doesn't have that same nice application and finish on the skin. There are better, more affordable eye serums at the drugstore. I love the Face Facts one. I love the 2 by Revolution Skincare that do some pigment correction too. No, this is a firm pass for the price point. I think the ordinary need to go back to the drawing board with this one and maybe just copy over the Hyaluronic sub-Q eyes into ordinary packaging and we would all be sold. In at number 4 is the ordinary azelaic acid 10% suspension. Now, this is the one where I feel like I should duck and cover because there's going to be a lot of people coming for me that love this product. Now, hear me out. When this first launched and it was almost impossible to get a good strength azelaic acid over the counter, this definitely had a purpose. It was one of the first azelaic acids I reached for, and despite the fact it never layered in your skincare routine, was really grainy, it pilled, it balled up, I kept using it because I wanted that azelaic acid and couldn't get it elsewhere. Well, 3 years later, we have so many options when it comes to azelaic acid. You don't need this one. It's no longer the cheapest. It's definitely not the most cosmetically elegant. You still have all that problems with it balling up, and you could reach for some of the better options. And I covered some of my favorites in a recent video, which I'll leave a link to up there. Check that out, dispense with this one. If the ordinary tweaked the formulation to give a nicer finish, yes, I think there would be a place for this in your skincare routine, but with there better options that just feel better to use. Now, coming in at number 3 is their best-selling product, the ordinary niacinamide 10% serum. I've already talked about this endlessly on the channel, so I'm not going to labour the point, but niacinamide, like I said with that powder, is in every other step in our skincare routine. You don't need a separate serum, and if you follow any of the science, all the data behind niacinamide say it gives you great results at between a 2 and a 5% concentration. That's where you get maximum results, minimum risk of irritation. So why are we reaching for a 10%, which a lot of people say they find quite irritating, reddening on the skin, and quite drying? Also, this foams up. If you even have the slightest amount of moisture or dew on the skin, this will foam up. It's because some of the base formulation is actually acting like a surfactant, which is quite stripping and drying on the skin, but it kind of interacts with that water and starts foaming up. It's like the worst experience. And if a product does that, probably shouldn't continue to use it. They shifted like millions of units of this last year, so clearly lots of people are using it and probably really enjoying it. But I would just say, if you are using it, think again. You're probably already getting your niacinamide fix, and if you want a niacinamide as a standalone serum, there are just better options. In at number 2 is their other bestseller, The Ordinary Hyaluronic Acid. This you don't need. If you want some additional hydration in a serum form, reach for the Marine Hyaluronics by The Ordinary, which is way better for the same price point. That made it fairly high up on my favourites list, and honestly, I'd say if anyone's using The Ordinary Hyaluronic Acid, switch to the Marine Hyaluronics. You'll honestly love the results that you get, and it's the same great price. Hyaluronic acid, like niacinamide, in every step of our skincare routine. You don't need it as a standalone serum. This one, it's quite tacky, quite sticky on the skin. I get it, it's affordable, and it's one of the lowest priced hyaluronic acids out there, but there are just better options. And then finally, number 1 on, I was going to say drum roll please, but this is a dubious honour that I don't think any product wants. So number 1 on the fails list is The Ordinary Peeling Solution. This viral sensation in 2020, everyone was using it and overusing it. They were derma rolling with it. There were all sorts of hideous things happening with this product. And the main reason it's on this list is it's just too potent. If you use this exactly in line with the instructions and then you tailor it back a little bit to match your individual skin type, yes, you can use this safely and effectively. But even with all those caveats, I still think you'll get better results with like a 10% lactic acid used consistently in the long term than you will from this high potency exfoliator. This has now been banned in a lot of countries just because of the high potent nature of the product, and so I think that's really telling us something. If you use it very sparingly and correctly, yes, this will give you some great results. But the vast majority of us were just slathering it on, using it way too frequently and doing way more harm than good. Very few people actually read the ingredients. And you might be sat there thinking, well, that's their fault. I get that, but I think brands should formulate with that in mind, and knowing a product that is so potent with so many caveats and user instructions probably isn't the best thing to just sell over the counter, which is why this is number 1 on the list. If you absolutely love this product, on the body, I think it's fine. I used mine up on the elbows and where I have dry skin, and it worked fine. On the face, probably not. But if you do love it, sound off in the comment section below. You can read me to filth and tell me how much you love this product. If it works for you, continue to use it. But if you're intrigued by this and you see it online, I'd say stay clear of it. Get the Ordinary lactic acid instead. You'll get a great glow up from it. You're just going to irritate the skin. So there you have it, a rundown of my least favourite products from The Ordinary. The top 10 fails, if you want to call it that. I just want to help you guys to choose the right products for your skincare routine. But you need to remember that what works for one person won't work for everyone, vice versa, and choose products that work for you. If any of these 10 products are your holy grails, continue to use them. If they're working for you, cling on to them like your best friend. If you're new to The Ordinary and you're looking to explore the collection, these are products I probably would think twice before purchasing, because it's just some better options. And don't forget to check out the top 10 amazing products that this brand has to offer, because they still do have some products that represent really great value for money. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, and opinions in the comment section below, and wherever you are in the world, guys. Stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.